here at WKRG+. Join us on the Red Couch.
Well, an 8th grade student once challenged by dyslexia is now thriving, reading 4 grade levels above her own. What some saw as a learning disability became her motivation to succeed. Joining me on the Red Couch are Isabella Elmore and her mom, Alice, to share their inspiring journey. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Alice, I want to start with you. For people who don't know, what is dyslexia?
Dyslexia is simply a different way of learning. So some children will learn a specific way in a traditional setting, and some children tend to think outside the box with their learning.
Absolutely. What was it like when you first noticed that Isabella learned a little bit differently than other kids?
Unfortunately, she was kept inside during recess so that she could finish assignments. So she was missing out on a lot of fun, and there were a couple of other key things that the teacher brought to my attention that, you know, we might need to get her tested.
Absolutely. And what was going through your head as a mom? Were you like, oh my gosh, what is this about?
Well, sure. At that time, we didn't know anything about dyslexia. I'd heard of it. I knew that it was children that learn differently, but I had no idea what all it entailed.
Absolutely. And so what was that moment where you said, okay, I've got to get her some help, get her tested, and figure out what's going on and how we can get her the resources to improve on this?
Right. Well, every parent wants the very best for their child.
Yeah.
And so when you realize that your child may think and learn a little bit differently than others, you do all the research and you reach out to the community and you try to find the very best way to approach helping your child succeed.
Isabella, what was that like for you, for your parents to come to you and say, hey, you're just learning a little bit differently from your other friends, and we're going to get you some more resources? Where you're like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a confusing and scary time, just because I started to realize, hey, I learned differently. It's not a bad thing, but I saw, hey, my friends are quicker and find things easier than I do.
Did you ever feel left out in class when you were like, okay, my friends are, you know, speeding through their books and it's taking me just a little bit longer?
Yes, because they would read things very quickly and I would have to go back and sound out the words and end up being left behind.
Absolutely. And Mom, from there, what was your next step?
We had Isabella tested for dyslexia, so we would know exactly where we were, where we were headed, and made a plan to go forward from there.
Absolutely. I think we talked a little bit about you homeschooling, which is insane, but to your point, when you're a parent and you want the very best for your child, you do whatever it takes. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. We did homeschool for 2 years, and we did some online Zoom dyslexia therapy for Isabella just to try to help us get on the right track to go in the right direction. But at that time, I did not know what resources were out there for dyslexic children in Mobile.
Absolutely. Isabella, what was that like for you to be homeschooled while maybe your other friends were at regular school?
It was very difficult because seeing all my friends at regular school and me being treated a little differently, it was a very difficult time, but I think that it was very beneficial to me.
Absolutely. And so from there, Mom, when did you decide, okay, we need to get you into an actual school around other kids? Talk about that experience and how you came to find Bride Academy.
Well, like I said, we did the homeschooling and we did some online Zoom therapies, but I knew there had to be something more out there. So we did our research and talked to some other friends in the homeschool community who were also dealing with trying to teach their child who learns differently through dyslexia, and we came across Bride Academy, and it's been an incredible journey for us.
Absolutely. That first day when she walked into Bride Academy, what was going through your head?
Oh, am I making the right decision? Is this the right direction for her to go in? Are they going to reach her where she is? Are they going to, you know, help her succeed?
Absolutely. Isabella, talk about that transition from being homeschooled and then going to Bride Academy. How was that for you?
It was definitely a little scary at first, just because I was kind of going out of my shell and I was still very much in my shell. And I was very nervous, but I remember the first day of going in there, I was met with people who I could immediately feel their love and that they really wanted to help me. It was amazing.
And one thing I love about Bride Academy is the one-on-one you get with the teacher. If you need help or you're going through a challenge, they really sit down with you. Talk about that a little bit.
They will. if they see that you might be struggling more than another student, they won't make you feel pointed out. They'll come to you and they'll meet you where you are. Hey, do you need help with this? And they'll take the time out of their day to appropriately meet you where you are.
Mom, how does that make you feel hearing that? It sounds like you made the right decision.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a blessing all the way around. It truly has.
Absolutely. And what was really your motivation, Isabella, when things got tough? Because I'm sure they did. Were you like, okay, I got to get through this? Or were you down on yourself? What was that like for you?
It kind of went back and forth, you know. But what really kept me going is, I just got to say, the love of the staff. The teachers, my friends, if they see that, hey, they need some encouragement, they're going to lift you up.
Absolutely. And then you didn't feel so alone, right? You had other students who were going through the same thing as you, and you kind of understood each other.
Yes, that's one of the best parts, is being around kids who all have the same struggles as you.
Absolutely. And Mom, what advice would you give to other parents who are dealing with this and just don't know what to do or who to turn to?
I would say reach out to your community, try to find other parents that are also searching for answers for dyslexia. Reach out to Bright Academy. There is a conference that's going to be going on in Orange Beach in 2 weeks that is about dyslexia, and it's a big resource.
Absolutely. Isabella, what would your advice be for students and kids watching this who are like, she's so strong and she's really just so resilient and has got through a lot? What would you tell them?
I think I would tell them, well, this year I've found 2 words that I love: perseverance and hope. And you really have to push through the hard times. You got to push through them and just keep the hope that there will be bright days.
Absolutely. Look, I love this. Mom is just smiling over there because, Isabella, you have really came a long way.
Yes, ma'am.
From starting at Bright Academy to now reading 4 grade levels above your own is amazing. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And how does it make you feel, Mom, to hear her, you know, she's so eloquent and speaking like this and reading so well now. How does it make you feel?
It's amazing. I am so incredibly proud of her now. She's put in the hard work.
Yeah.
But when we first came to Bright Academy, she was reading on a 3rd grade level. She was in the 6th grade, so there was a lot of makeup work that had to be done.
Yeah.
But with the therapies that they provide there, where they break down the words so that the children understand this sound comes from these letters, and this is how, you know, I'm supposed to read this. That made a huge difference in Isabella just skyrocketing.
Yeah, I love that. Now, the only thing is Bright Academy typically ends at 8th grade. So now that, you know, you're starting your 8th grade year, but soon that will be over, what's going to be next for you all, Isabella?
Oh, well, we're not sure. We're going to have to really put in the research because there's not a lot of schools around town who will accommodate an IEP. So we're really going to have to put in the research.
Does that scare you a little bit, Mom?
Yes, absolutely. I wish that there was a high school specifically for dyslexic children, children that learn a little bit differently, that obviously can succeed in anything that they put their mind to, like Isabella's progress that she's made. If Bright Academy went to 12th grade, we'd stay there forever, of course, but we will be looking at homeschool and other schools around the area that may be willing to work with us.
Yeah, because you've been welcomed into this community and you found like-minded people, and now it's like you're being snatched away from that. Does that scare you a little bit, Isabella?
That's very scary because there's just so much love there. And if we can stay there, we really do want to. But we're going to take in other options too, but we'll definitely miss it.
Absolutely. We're so proud of you. You've gotten so involved at Bright Academy, which is what I love. Student government. You've been kind of like an ambassador for the school. Talk about how that's made you feel to be a top leader.
Very proud. I'm very proud. And I really love being able to take charge a little bit and hear the voices of the other students too and support the school, like to represent them.
How does it make you feel, Mom, to see her leadership and really just excelling?
Oh, it's amazing. She was a very shy child when she first started at Bright Academy, and they have completely taken her out of her shell. And yes, she is very active in all of the school activities, and at the end of the year, they even put on a performance. and she's up on stage with everyone else. And it's amazing.
It's kind of hard to believe that you were once shy. I don't see that from you at all whatsoever. But that's the miracle of having a community for a few years. You really make that switch. It can happen overnight if you put in the work, as you said, Isabella. Any more advice to anyone who's watching you and says, wow, like, she's got it all together. Can I be that person? You know, what would you say to them?
They absolutely can be. You really do have to put in the work, but once you get into where God's plan, where you need to be, you're going to blossom and you're going to bloom. You have to put in the work, but I promise that you're going to get there.
Absolutely. Oh, I love this. And Mom, let's talk about, like I said, moving forward, what this really means for you and your family. I mean, you've seen her go from kind of struggling to really being like this, again, top student.
Yes.
Moving forward, what would you say to parents who are worried that their child isn't going to get to this place?
I had those same thoughts. And I know now that it is possible to move past those tough patches. I would say reach out to your community and other people that might have children that are struggling, and just be able to, you know, just reach out to the community mainly and get the support that you need.
And don't be afraid to do it too, I think is the thing. I think a lot of people feel like we're the only ones going through this. Nobody else knows how I feel, but you all have been through it and you know how it feels and you've conquered through that challenge. So I think that's a good point. Isabella, Alice, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.